All right, and welcome back to another episode of the New York Jets Madden 20 franchise mode. Check out the website, vendettasportsmedia.com. Give me a follow on Twitter, @TreyDalbert. We're going to get started here. Oh, last thing, check out the website, Vendetta Sports on Facebook. Subscribe to the channel before I get started here. This is the last set of roster moves before the season starts. We're still in the preseason. Wanted to show you guys last little trades, last little cuts. These will be the final moves before the season gets going. So, trade number one here, Terrell Suggs. I get it, Arizona just signed him. But, listen, he's old. He's 36 years old. Arizona's not going to win. He's probably going to retire anyway. What does it matter? It's not like I'm stealing somebody on a winning team. Terrell Suggs is 36 and going to retire probably at the end of the year. He's in Arizona. So we're going to swap Nick Perry. Look, I signed him out of free agency. I'm basically taking this as I signed Suggs in free agency. Basically, I'm swapping Perry for Suggs. It's not a big deal for Arizona at all. They're not going to be good anyway. Suggs is a guy I've used in Madden forever. I know how to play with him. I know how to attack the quarterback with him. He's going to be a sack artist for us. Him and Chandler Jones as bookends is going to be money. The funny thing about it is we basically took the Cardinals pass rush. But this gets it done. Suggs, Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones still very much in his prime. Suggs getting up there in age, but very productive. Next move, we're going to Dallas. We're getting a Awuzie. He is going to be our number one corner. We have had cornerback issues so far in the preseason. Our secondary has been trash. So we're trying to upgrade the cornerback room. Remember, we traded for Casey. Doesn't really have a spot to play, though. I didn't expect to sign Eric Berry because I didn't think I was going to have the money. But I maneuvered around a little bit and had money to sign Eric Berry, as you guys can remember. So, Casey can go. Part of the deal, we're going to send Alex Collins. I know, yes, I signed him, but look at that. He's going to be a perfect backup running back for Dallas. So, just think of it as part of the Zeke trade. Casey is a free safety that will start for Dallas. Xavier Woods is a good player, but Casey will start for Dallas. Alex Collins, Deontay Thompson, and Awuzie becomes our number one corner. I think this is a huge move. I think it's a move that makes sense for both teams since Dallas has cornerback depth. Casey will be their starting free safety. They get a nice backup running back, a receiver that'll make their roster. I think this is a huge move for us. We desperately needed a number one corner in the single worst way. Those moves take us up to an 80 overall. Now remember, I believe we were a 77 in the first episode. 76 even, maybe? We've made a ton of progress with this team. All of a sudden, this team looks dangerous. This team looks really good. Really good. So, again, the first 2 weeks of the preseason, I was really worried. Because I was not moving the ball with Adam Gase's playbook at all. Like, I was having real problems on offense. And I never have problems on offense. So I messed around, different playbooks. Dallas's playbook is perfect for the way I play. Perfect. So I guess it kind of makes sense that I would want Cowboys, but their playbook for me is perfect. Jalston Fowler is the guy I wanted because I want a fullback in the offense. I know fullbacks are dying breed, but I wanted a fullback in the offense. Fowler would be great for us. Not a high overall, but I don't care. I just need a fullback. So, this trade for Taco Charlton, Dallas actually cuts him. As you could see under their roster before, he's their 4th-string right end. So they don't use him at all. Like, they actually cut him. It's Crawford, Quinn, and Gregory. You see that. Charlton's the 4th guy. They cut him in the game. I would rather trade for him because I would rather pick up his contract. He becomes more expensive in free agency. So this makes sense for Dallas. They get a real cornerback in Kayvon Webster, who they just gave away a corner. So instead of giving away Charlton for free and cutting him, they get a good corner out of it. So it makes sense for them. It makes sense for us because I want Charlton and I want his current rookie contract. So I think that's another fair trade, and I think it's going to help us a lot. Situational pass rusher for us. We're going to make him a 3-4 outside linebacker. Next trade. San Francisco likes our outside linebackers. They have serious linebacker issues. I mean, Fred Warner stinks. They had to pay Quan Alexander so much money, and he's not even that good. San Francisco has serious linebacker issues. I just want to upgrade the left guard spot a little bit. He's a 75 overall, and that's good enough for me. Right now, Chance Warmack's the current starter. So, Laken Tomlinson's a pretty big upgrade. San Francisco is going to get a starting outside linebacker out of this. I also pick up Deebo Samuel, but look, I get it. You think, oh, well, trading for Deebo Samuel is not realistic. Well, San Francisco, he's 6th on the depth chart. They literally don't use him in the game. I checked, I made sure, I looked at their depth chart. He's 6th, which means he never plays, he'll never develop. So, listen, I'd rather do something. And I'm basically looking at this like, okay, the Jets didn't have a 2nd-round pick in real life. This is who I would have picked in the 2nd round. Deebo Samuel was the guy I would have wanted in the 2nd round. So I think this makes a lot of sense. Not really for San Francisco, but it's not totally outrageous. I'm not stealing 80 and 90 overall guys. I'm just tinkering around the corners. So cry about it if you want, but it's not, I'm not stealing Richard Sherman or Joe Staley. They're minor pieces. Samuel could develop and become better, but they're minor pieces in terms of Madden. So, again, we upgrade a little bit there. 75 overall guard and Deebo Samuel. Now we go to the Redskins. Elijah McGuire, Trenton Cannon. And we're going to pick up Bryce Love, who, again, you see how far he is down on Washington's list here. Washington doesn't use him. So, we will use him. I promise you that. And here's the deal. Washington picked him in the 4th round. I mean, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Maybe, maybe not. He is kind of hurt. I feel like he needs a full year to recover just from all the injuries that he just had at Stanford. But regardless, they're not going to use him in the game. They have Peterson, Geis, Thompson. They're not going to use him. So, if we give them Elijah McGuire and Trenton Cannon and a draft pick, it's not totally outrageous. It's really not. And I forget, but Washington does cut one of their running backs anyway. I don't remember if it was P. Ryan or Love. But either way, Bryce Love's like the 5th running back on the roster, and they're never going to use him. And I'm basically giving them the 4th round pick right back. So they're getting 2 running backs and the 4th round pick. So again, not a crazy, outrageous trade, but this is a guy I did want. Going to be a nice backup running back for us. All of a sudden, team starting to get dangerous. I don't know why the overall went down. I really didn't give up anything there, but oh well, whatever. Again, this roster is looking much, much improved. Also, you're not seeing on there Will Fuller and Blake Cashman. Both of those guys went down in the preseason. Very minor. They will be back for the regular season. It's only like a 2-week injury, I believe. But I did want to get one more middle linebacker here. Oren Burks, a 5th and a 7th round pick. We're basically going to swap middle linebackers. They wanted James Burgess really bad. So we're going to swap middle linebackers, pick up a couple extra draft picks. I think that's a good move for us. And yes, he does start for Green Bay, so I don't want to hear that one either. Next, we're going to pick up a couple free agents. These free agents, they're not going to make the roster, but they're going to make the practice squad roster. So, basically, we're doing a little maintenance here. Actually, I lied. Chad Williams is going to make the roster. He's a guy I really like. 3rd round pick out of Grambling State. I remember a couple years ago, he was flat out unstoppable at the Senior Bowl. I don't think he's been given the proper opportunity in Arizona. First of all, it's a bad offense. He's had bad quarterback play to deal with. He's a good project I would like to take a chance on. And yes, Chad Williams is going to make the roster. He had a nice preseason game for us, too. So basically, we're just looking around. Guys that we're thinking about signing for the practice squad. I have 2 spots left on the roster. Basically, they're going to play in this next preseason game. Preseason game I'm not going to show. But, yes, they will be in the practice squad. Myrick was a rookie corner this year. Not sure why somebody would cut him. And Victor, he's sort of a, fast little linebacker. Guy from Washington. He's an okay player. That rounds out sort of the practice squad here. And this is the roster. Things are looking good. There's Will Fuller. I just wanted to show you that again quick. 2-week injury. He's fine. He'll be back week 1. Not a big deal. Just in case you didn't see him on the original depth chart, there you go. There's Taco Charlton. We are going to turn Taco Charlton into a stand-up outside linebacker. This is great. I think this makes a lot of sense. Listen, he hasn't been super productive in Dallas. He's been okay. I feel like this is a good experiment to take. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. This is a guy who is a first-round pick. He gets to learn from Terrell Suggs and Chandler Jones. So I think this is a really good move. His overall goes down a couple points, but it's better for our scheme anyway. We run a 3-4. He's not a 3-4 defensive end. He's a big stand-up linebacker. So I think it's going to work out. All right. So things are looking great. Things are looking great. I do think I'm going to do one more team. Right now, I'm leaning towards Tampa Bay, but I'm also considering the Dolphins. The problem with Tampa Bay is they just gave their GM a new 5-year extension. So I feel like it's not totally realistic. The Dolphins have a GM, but they are by far the worst team in Madden. So I feel like that would be a fun one to rebuild. That one's going to take a lot of work. Like another team like Houston doesn't have a GM, but they're too good. Like they just made the playoffs. They won 11 games. Deshaun Watson's unbelievable. By the way, I just wrote an article on Deshaun Watson. He's absolutely a tier 1 elite level franchise quarterback. Deshaun Watson is unbelievable. So I feel like Houston would be too easy. But I am thinking about Tampa Bay or Miami. If you have a preference for a second team, comment down below. Or if you preferred the Dolphins over the Bucs or the Bucs over the Dolphins, comment down below on that. So this is basically the final portion. We're making some cuts here. Caleb Wilson, he was Mr. Irrelevant by the Cardinals. 7th round draft pick. We're going to move him to the practice squad. Again, Myrick to the practice squad. Deontay Burnett, We got 6 guys to cut left. I feel like he's a guy that, undrafted guy from USC. Sam Darnold likes him, but we'll keep him around. This is when things get tough, This is when things get tough. Boston Scott, perfect practice squad running back. Fits what I do, fast. Can catch the ball. Like I said, we have a little bit too many receivers on this roster. Makes an interesting decision. I thought about sending down Chad Williams, but I think Deontay Burnett to the practice squad is the right call. And Jordan Morgan, Kutztown guy to the practice squad. This gives you a clearer picture of the overall roster, too. I think it's a strong roster. I think it's gotten a lot better. I think it's gotten a ton better. I think this team's really good. Anthony Wint, gotta go, buddy. We gotta cut one more guy here. I like having a lot of corners, so I don't want to cut one of them. And that makes it easy. There you go. So let's check out if any of the teams cut some important guys. Look at that. Frank Gore's there. Pierre Garçon. Antonio Gates. We're not going to go down that path. But I do see a name that I really like. Here's the receivers that were cut. This is just me processing what I'm going to do. I wanted to show you guys, in case you're starting up your own franchise, this is the list that was cut during the preseason. So if any of these guys interest you, don't bother for trading for them because they're going to get cut and you might as well wait. Unless it's a situation like Taco Charlton where, yes, Charlton gets cut. I would rather have him on the rookie contract instead of paying his free agent money and then having to re-sign him. So those are the sort of things. Pause the screen if I'm going too fast, but this is the list of free agents that do get cut. There's another interesting name that I see, Mr. Mark Barron. Inside linebacker is a little bit of a weak position for us. So I think that one makes a lot of sense. Barron, he hasn't lived up to the top 10 pick that he was with Tampa Bay. But he's a dependable guy. He can move around. He's a former safety. He can cover ground. So the corresponding move, we send the rookie from Wake Forest down to the practice squad. And we're going to sign another guy here. I have to have him. Gus Edwards was a monster this past season for Baltimore. He was quietly one of the best running backs in football. I think he's better than Mark Ingram. I really do. This guy averaged over 5 yards a carry. Absolute steal. Rutgers is a really bad football program. He was by far their best player, and he came to Baltimore and lit it up. I feel like that's really the only reason why he was underrated coming out of the draft, because he didn't get picked. It might have been because Rutgers is just that bad. So we do have to cut one more guy since I did pick up Gus Edwards. Listen, he's a tough runner. Tough runner. He was a very important part of that Ravens run-first attack. Established himself as a legitimate starting running back. And before you get on me, listen, I think he's every bit as good as Mark Ingram. I really do. Maybe not 5 years ago Mark Ingram, but now Mark Ingram, I feel like Gus Edwards is going to play a lot bigger role than people think. Had to cut Trevor Siemian. I didn't want to eat the bonus, but it was the move that made the most sense. Last final thing, just to upgrade the backup guard spot. It's not a guy that I love, but scheme fit allows me to cut Ben Braden. A little bit of an overall boost there. And there we go. Drango 60. Braden 52. Just want to upgrade there a tad. And this is dumb. I'm not going to play the guy in the preseason if he's hurt. So, yeah. Alright, and we're basically down to 53 man. There's our practice squad. We are going to cut the rookie from Wake Forest off the practice squad. So, everyone's down to 53 guys. Let's take a look back here. Not a ton of change in the free agent market, but we are going to pick up 4 more guys for the practice squad. Former first-round pick here, Obi Melifonwu. Remember that guy? He blew up the combine. Crazy vertical jumps, crazy broad jumps. Hasn't lived up to it, but, you know, a good gamble for the practice squad. Tease Tabor, former third-round pick from Florida. Couldn't believe the Lions cut him. He hasn't been great, but can't make the roster, really? DJ Jones, good defensive tackle that fits the scheme. Mississippi guy. And the final one we're going to pick up, Montravius Adams. Auburn cranks out defensive linemen like crazy. Montravius Adams is a good player. Not a superstar, but a good player. Couldn't believe Green Bay cut him. So, he's going to be the final guy for the practice squad. Okay, and that's ready to go. I just got done playing the Eagles in the preseason. Didn't show the game, obviously, but get done playing the Eagles in the preseason, and I really struggled with Gus Edwards. I'm not going to lie. Probably a better guy in real life than in Madden. The problem is he's really, really, really slow. Really slow. Like, it's to the point where he... You know, in all Madden, you got to hit the hole. And if you don't hit the hole, you're in trouble. If I hit the hole correctly, he's just not fast enough to where he doesn't pick up any ground. So, it's a situation where it was a good experience in the preseason to let me know that it's not going to work. This is the kind of things that you need to play in the preseason so that you know. Gus Edwards, not going to fit. But I do have a plan. I do want to show you guys the injuries just heading into the season. I like to show background information. I like to show the other teams. How funny is it that Kayvon Webster got hurt? Only 2 weeks, but it is funny. Showing the injuries. I like to show background information. I like when the other teams improve, you know? I don't want just my team to improve. I want other teams to improve. I want to make this as challenging as possible. We're back up to an 80 overall, 85 on offense, 83 on defense. It's pretty dangerous. Big improvements to this Jets team. But here's the plan. Kenyon Drake, he's in the final year of his contract. I don't know if Miami wants to pay him or not pay him. But it's a guy that, listen, the Dolphins are the worst team in the league. Everyone's up for sale in Miami. Everybody's up for sale in Miami. So, Drake's in the final year of his contract. I don't know if they want to pay him or not pay him. We're probably not going to pay him. But I do want a quality backup for the season. So Gus Edwards in the trade. I wish things would have worked out. I love Gus Edwards, but not a guy I can use in the game. We're going to flip Oren Burks. Oren Burks is a good, nice young linebacker that Miami can use. We picked him up from Green Bay. Miami will absolutely use him. And there's the trade. Edwards, Burks, for Drake. That gives us a quality backup running back. Bryce Love's the third guy. We have a nice little running back room. I'm sure Bryce Love might go down. He got hurt in both preseason games. Not super long preseason games. Not super long timelines, but he got hurt in both games and left the game. Drake, I'm sure he might get hurt too. So I like having both of those guys in the back pocket. And Zeke's going to get a big workload. I do like to have a little bit of a three-headed monster, but Zeke will probably get a large number of the carries because he can handle it. In Madden games in the past, I used to love having Chris Johnson. I wouldn't give him a ton of touches. Like, I'll give Zeke more, but Chris Johnson was my guy back in the day. I used to love having a three-headed monster with a power back, some kind of dangerous do-it-all guy, and then Chris Johnson. That was my formula. Seattle did cut Tedrick Thompson, so we're going to pick him up. He's the final man of the roster, and this is basically your team to start the season. That's going to do it. Give a quick look here. I'm going to go through the depth chart just to, kind of show what the final product's going to look like. I'm excited to get into the games. Maybe this isn't your kind of speed. Maybe the roster transactions are boring for you, but this is the kind of stuff I love. My dream job in life is to be a general manager for a team. I love trades, free agency, the draft. That's the kind of stuff I like more than the actual game. So, if this is not your kind of thing, sorry, but not sorry, because I love this kind of stuff. I love building teams. I find this kind of stuff so much fun. Actually, this reminds me. One of the guys that works for the site, his name's Alex and Garrett. They both run this Twitter page called Ball Busta Bro. Give it a follow. You can probably find it easy. They retweet our stuff at media_vendetta on Twitter. Anyway, they had to tweet out favorite video game of all time. Saw a bunch of different responses. My favorite sports video game, baseball-wise, MVP Baseball 2005. That one can't be beat. Football-wise, NFL head coach. It's the game where you couldn't play. You were basically calling plays and being the GM. I found it so much fun. I was addicted to that game. That was my favorite game. Especially you could go back, redo the entire 2008 offseason. I have that draft memorized because of NFL head coach. I would just go in and just redo off seasons. It was so much fun to me. Probably sound like a huge loser, but I don't care. I love this kind of stuff. But I am excited to get into the games. This team's looking strong. I'm not going to lie, this team's looking really good. Comment down below what you think. Is this a Super Bowl team? Is this a playoff team? What do you guys think? Am I not going to make the playoffs? I'm going to tell you this right now. There's just no chance that I don't win the division. Let me put it to you this way. There's probably no chance that I don't win the Super Bowl. I'll be shocked if I lose a game. And you might think I'm crazy. You might think I'm nuts. Whatever. You might think, oh, Sam Darnold can't get it done in year 2. Come on. You're playing with us. I'm that good at Madden. I'm that good at Madden. Oh, man. Look at this team isn't 90 overall. Team's not 95 overall. Team's not 85 overall. Team's a solid 80 overall. That's all I need. That's all I need. I'll be very disappointed if I don't win the Super Bowl. But I'm excited to get it going. Week 1 against the Buffalo Bills is coming your way soon. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Couldn't be more excited. Team's looking really good, man. Team's looking really good. Before I go, Follow the website, vendettasportsmedia.com. Again, vendettasportsmedia.com. We've had a bunch of good articles. I wrote one on Deshaun Watson. Buried some idiot Twitter trolls. Like crazy people. They don't know that Tony Pollard's a running back. Just people are insane. We're building a really good team. Again, if you're interested in joining the site, let me know. Reach out. We have a good group. Don Chach, Alex, Garrett, Chad, Zach Black, Justin Alec. Hopefully I didn't forget anyone. We have a really great team, so if you want to join the site, let me know. And that will do it. Here's me changing the playbook to Dallas. But again, that'll do it. Thank you for watching. The next video will be week 1 against the Buffalo Bills. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.